يعلو الكتاب ويخبو سواه وينصر جندا ألحوا الدعاء يعلو الكتاب ويخبو سواه وينصر جندا ألحوا الدعاء ألحوا الدعاء.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to iHalaqa Productions. People have asked, why should we know about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Well, let's think about it for a second. I want to give you some features of a nation, brothers and sisters, and I want you to guess which nation I'm referring to here. See, in this nation, you have 1 in 7 households which are food insecure, which means that there's not enough food to nourish themselves, or the people are unable to gather the provisions in order to get the food to nourish themselves. In this nation, you have a woman that is raped every 2 minutes. In this nation, you have 2 children who are terminated every minute. So which nation do you believe I'm referring to here, brothers and sisters? One would perhaps assume that I'm talking about Iraq, where more than 1 million children have already died, and you would need a bomb to get rid of that many children. But no, I'm not talking about Iraq. One would perhaps assume I'm talking about Gaza, where the food is unable to get in because of the blockades that is surrounding the region. And as a result, people are going hungry and they are starving. But no, I am not talking about Gaza. One would maybe assume that I'm talking about Abu Ghraib and Bagram, where foreign troops are raping their own female colleagues. But no, I'm not talking about Abu Ghraib or Bagram. Brothers and sisters, I am talking about the land of the free. And one would question as to why there would be so many problems in the Western states. See, the reason is simply, brothers and sisters, that the West makes beliefs or holds beliefs based on the experiences, subjective experiences of good and bad, of what they see as harmful or beneficial. The West makes beliefs based on history and experiences. And when these beliefs are developed into laws, these laws are as contradictory as the state of the mind of the one who makes them. So we see clear-cut contradictions in society. So for example, you have rape, which is totally illegal. However, the agitation that is created in society through commercialism, through consumer products, through advertising, which agitates the sexual instinct more than which is required, is perfectly legal. At the same time, you have prostitution, which is perfectly legal. At the same time, you have brothels, which are perfectly legal. However, when it comes to rape, it's illegal. And we have to consider this following point, that the only differentiation and the only difference the West sees between rape and all the other issues is the issue of consent. Now that sounds pretty silly. Another issue we see in society that is very prevalent today is the issue of stealing, which is perfectly illegal. It's not allowed. However, at the same time, we see that the well-off in society, the investment bankers, the stockbrokers, who gamble with the pensions, with the mortgages of vulnerable people in society, is perfectly legal. We see big corporate companies who are able to evade and avoid tax, and that is perfectly within the legal framework. However, when it comes to stealing, and someone is unable to make an honest living because he can't evade the taxman, but unfortunately for him, the taxman is going to chase him to the ends of the earth. At the same time, we see something very strange in the world, where 1/3 of the world is literally starving. Another third is obese to the point where they need medical help. How can this exist in a world where there is enough resources to feed every human being 10 times over? Clearly there are some very big problems in the world today, and the West has quite frankly been unable to resolve them. Now we come to the point, brothers and sisters, where you may ask, how come you've seen all these problems but it doesn't affect me? I haven't seen these problems. I live in the West. I'm a Muslim here in the West. Well, quite frankly, brothers and sisters, after seeing all these problems which I've highlighted, if you cannot see them, if you cannot sense them, and you live in a society which contradicts your Aqidah, then we have to question our Iman. Another thing we see today amongst ourselves, brothers and sisters, is that we are engaged in very petty discussions. And I say petty because while we discuss whether the dhimmi tax should be equal to the zakah or less than the zakah that a Muslim pays, and is seen as discriminatory in the Islamic state, while this is happening, while these discussions are taking place, the whole world is under the economic oppression of capitalism. SubhanAllah. We are engaged in discussions where we are asking whether Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ever did offensive jihad or whether it was solely defensive, while swathes of Muslim lands are occupied by foreign countries. And not only are the lands being sucked dry of its resources, they are being sucked dry of the Muslims within them. Now we need to ask ourselves, how should we as Muslims in the West address these problems? See, the thing is for us, brothers and sisters, the example we should follow is that of the one who understood Islam the best, and that is none other than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is how we come to the answer to the question, why should we know about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Now, to see how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam carried Islam to the world, we need to consider some of the following points. And I'm going to be very concise here, brothers and sisters, and very brief. And for more information on these issues, you should definitely check out the website www.knowmuhammad.co.uk. However, some points which I want to give to you, which you can think about now, is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even before receiving wahi, revelation, he sensed that there was a problem in society, which is why he went and he secluded himself in Mount Hira. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he got Islam and revelation, he firmly believed in what he received. And finally, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in what he believed in firmly, he carried to the world without compromise. Now what we need to do, brothers and sisters, is firstly, we need to be aware of the problems we are facing in society. Secondly, we need to firmly believe in Islam and the principles of Islam. And the only way we can do that is by knowing Islam. And finally, after knowing Islam, we have to carry this to the rest of the world. Even if the society which is dominant around you is totally against it. Just like the time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got wahi, and the society at the time was totally at odds with what he came with. Now for more information, brothers and sisters, as I mentioned earlier, please check out the website on www.knowmuhammad.co.uk. Also, we are on Facebook under Our Prophet, Our Honor. And I would urge everyone to share this video, to subscribe to our iHalaqa channel, like it, and inshallah let all your friends, colleagues, peers know. And let everyone know to join the campaign, the Know Muhammad campaign. Jazakallahu khairan.